Good morning, guys. It is Monday morning here in the UK and it's the 28th of November. So let's get right into it to see, just check out where we are with the charts and if there is anything really setting up for today and this week coming up and what we can actually look for the week of trading. So, as usual, I'm actually just going to um, I'm just thinking if I want to delete the support resistance, but yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's just off all these indicators and look at a bear chart. I mean, to be fair, the support resistance lines were just drawn late. On Friday, where they're literally it's still within the range, but I am actually just going to delete it because it just takes us a minute or so to draw them, so it's fine. Now let's take a look at the top-down analysis to see where we are with the market. So this is how it looks like, if you guys can see, right? We did draw this the last time, and I'm going to just do it again so that it's there for even for me to refresh my memory. There we go. So this is a downtrend. It broke. I'm going to make this bigger. It broke structure and it came back, retested the line spot on, and now it went up. Having said that, like we have mentioned before, it could be a fake out and come back right down as a short. On a weekly as well, you see it did come back retest, but then this there was liquidity. If I were to go back to the daily, there is liquidity around this region here, so it could very well just, um, tank right back down. And again, let's not just assume that. Personally, I would wait for it to again go down and do a retest and then come back up. So I'm going to show this. There is liquidity right here as well. So I would draw this here. So basically, it could come back right into the zone here, do a fake out here and go right back up as a retracement as well. So again, it's just a case of let's just do a quick flip on a daily. I would personally just draw it here and take it all the way up here. There we go. So if I were to do that, guys, just look, this line here is 0.382, which is just right about where it could come for a fake out and go right back up. So I would just keep an eye on this zone just to see what it does. So typically if it comes down and retests again and it doesn't go up, it does a retest and you see another bearish candle form. So then you know it's rejecting the uptrend and it's basically just going to go down. Otherwise, it is gonna go back up. So it's come down, it goes up, does a retest, and it goes back up again. Does it sound confusing? I'm sure it does. Okay, where's my arrow? Bear with me. Let's make it clear so that you guys understand. I swear I always have a problem with this. No, it was here, wasn't it? Hold on. I think it's this. Okay. So what I was saying is, so this is liquidity to the upside. So what we're going to do is we are going to see price come down here, all right, and then go right back up. Do a fake out here. That's what I mean. Okay. Come back, touch the zone for a retest, and then go right back up again. Okay. So that could be one option. Another one is comes right back down, does a retest here, rejects the zone, and basically go right back down. Okay, so this is what I think could be a scenario that possibly could work out, right? Personally, I let's just have a look at the higher time frames before I say what I feel might happen. But again, it's trading is not about assumptions, which I have said many times, and this is something I've learned in the years. Like we really cannot assume that, you know. Uh, okay. So on a weekly, there is liquidity right up here. So, I personally think it's going to go up. But again, we just have to wait to see what the charts do. So I'm just going to do a fib on the 30. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Look at that, guys. So if you draw a Fibonacci retracement, it came down to touch the zero point 0.5 and it's made its way back. So I believe it will minimum come here, do a double top if it wants to tank down back again. But this could be the zone that is going for. Like I said, there was a liquidity here, this bit here. I'll draw it here for you guys. Yeah, so I mean, it will come up, do a fake out, and possibly go back down again. I don't know. Um, I think it might go up to be fair, but let's just, you know, let's wait to see what the charts do. Okay, I'm going to drop back down to the daily. Like we've drawn this liquidity zone, I'm just going to leave it there. Actually, there is another zone here as well. So this is something I would keep my eyes on too, guys. So there's two zones that I have drawn. Okay, so basically it could also just come back down here, do a fake out and do the same pattern what I did just now. So it might not necessarily come all the way to this massive leg out area. Okay, um, so let's quickly just draw support resistance lines just around the where price is at the moment. Okay, so we're going to do horizontal. There's one right here where price is. So that's why I keep saying it is at a very, very crucial zone. So we do have to actually really be very careful as to where we are, how we are taking our trades. Okay, wait for it to pan out, wait for a good entry before you actually really go into a trade, if that makes sense. I'm trying to draw very close ones just because this is on a daily, and sometimes you don't want to miss. Okay, I am actually just going to do on a 4 hour just so that we don't miss very crucial points of support resistance. There. So if you guys don't know how I do support resistance, basically it is touch points. Okay, it is drawing where price has come back. If you can see, it's come back to touch this point here. Look at where my cursor is. It's like touching the points as frequently. So wherever the touch points have frequently come down, prices come down to test that point several times over. That is where I would draw support resistance because that is where price is coming and testing and either breaking it and going in the opposite direction or bouncing it off and going off, the way it wants to go. So really, it's how you draw support resistance is really where price has touched several times. Can you guys see? So sometimes the lower time frame you drop, you actually can see more support resistance lines just because there's more candles, if that makes sense. If you do on a daily, you're going to have wider, like a very wide support resistance with a huge pip gap. But we have to be careful on drawing too high a time frame just because there is other support resistance in the lower time frames and price could come back to test that and not necessarily hit your daily support resistance time frames. So you have to actually, when you're taking your trades, go back down to the 1 hour and just have a quick look towards your left, just so that you know where prices come before. You might have to kind of go really backwards just because sometimes you might not get them very near. But like you can see where I have drawn is very, very almost there. You know what I'm saying? We could draw another one here if you want, but it's just keeping an eye, but we are quite close. Another indicator that I use, and I'm sure you guys, I think it's here. Hold on. It's let me see. It is the support resistance levels with breaks. So if you actually find that on your indicator list, it's free. You turn it on. Can you see wherever I have drawn, that is a support resistance lines. So, and then obviously there is more. Can you see like this is where I've drawn, but it's a minor one below here. You guys can you see what I'm seeing here? So I've drawn it here. Here it's come back to touch, but you can see there's one in the middle here as well. So this is how this helps actually just to see where potentially price could possibly go. Besides, because when you draw too many lines, it just gets really messy as well. So I kind of like to draw mine in the 4 hour in the daily, sometimes the hour, but mostly on the 4 hour and the dailies. Okay, so that's my support resistance lines. I've just quickly drawn them as to where price is at the moment, just so that there's not too many, guys. Okay, so this is where we are with price. Let's take a look at 4 hours right now. And I am going to turn on my indicators. We are still on a beautiful uptrend, to be fair. Pretty sure I'm going to turn this. Just this bit, just these two indicators is what I'm going to turn on at the moment, which is my moving averages, the 10, 50, 21, 50, and the 200, which tells you the trend, which way this pair is moving. So basically, it is an uptrend, and you can see it is basically hovering on the 21. Okay, so I also like to use my divergence indicator. So basically, this kind of tells you that it's a little bit on a down right now. Now, there we go. Okay, so you can see that I love to take it at rejection pin bars where there's a bullish pin bar printed. I love to go in, but in this instance, to be really honest with you guys, I do not think I'm going to take a trade as of yet, just because I do think price is going to come down to fill the liquidity before it goes back up. This is my take on it. Well, I could be wrong. It could possibly go up just because it hasn't really done. I mean, it did one here, I guess, but yeah, you see this zone. So it didn't come down. It touched the zone and went right back up. I feel like that is going to be a bearish momentum at the moment. I'm just gonna have to wait and see. Like if you see here on the 4 hours, there is a opening gap here. Can you guys see? This is where it opened today. For Monday in Asian session, there's a gap that needs to be filled. Possibly go up, fill the gap here, and drop right back down. Because if you look at the I'm gonna show you guys the weekly. Look, we have like, do you see where we drew the previous box in the daily? There is a liquidity gap here. If you can see the gap, right? There's two candles here. There is a gap to be filled. So I do personally think that it could form a long, a bearish candle, at least till here, even if it doesn't go there. By the time this moving average might go up, and therefore we get a rejection, and then we're heading up to the uptrend. But again, I don't want to play the guessing game, but I feel like I would wait to see what it does really. Yeah, you see, if you had gone in here, if you had taken this, you would have already lost it just because it's not. Um, Yeah, it's because sometimes, guys, I know I do say like when it's a beautiful uptrend, we take the uptrend, but at the same time, you do need to study divergence and also feel you need to also see where the divergence is at, just so that you know if there's a trend reversal that is about to happen. Um, at this moment, on the 3 hour, let's just go to 2 hour. Uh, yeah. Well, I do think that it might come up here, to be fair, just because that is liquidity to be filled. So it might go up here, basically, or maybe even up to here. So this was a bullish candle. I mean, at the end of the day, I would have lost this trade just because of this candle here, which is way below the where my stop loss would have been if I had taken the trade anyway. But having said that, I did not go into any trades, and if we can drop down lower, you look at it just gets messy over the hours, you know. Looking at 1 hour, it's you can see the moving average to 10 is basically just messy up there. And this is in between. So yeah, no. So I would wait because you see this was a rejection. This came right back down. Like I said, it might go up, guys, just to fill the liquidity, but I'm not too sure if this is going to be a full on uptrend just yet, just because I do believe that there's a retracement coming. But like I said, it's just a case of being patient and seeing what works out. So this is my take for US30. I do think there's a lot of potential to the upside, but the right entry is just not yet. And I wouldn't short it just because it is against the trend for me personally, and that's a rule that I try and stick to, not to trade against the trend, especially if all the different time frames are showing that it is an uptrend. So I would personally, guys, what I would do right now, if you guys want to do a trade, I would personally, because I do feel it is going to go to just fill the liquidity at the very bare minimum. I would wait for the moving averages on a lower time frame to pan out correctly, take a rejection there, and then go pick it up. Because that would be the safest rather than waiting for a pin bar on the higher time frame. I do feel like taking it on a lower, like a 5 minutes or a 15 minutes even, might be might give you quick sniper entries if that makes sense. All right, because if you look at the divergence indicator at the bottom, we do have a bull, which it is going up now. But the question really is it really going to go up? And we have to wait for the moving averages to kind of reverse the other way. So the 10 has got to be here, and the 21 and the 50, and obviously the 200 at the bottom. So once it does that and you see a pin bar form, you can take it and then ride it up even to the next support resistance line. So he's just been patient and keep an eye on the trend. All right. So that's my take on US30 for today. I'm not going to do the other pairs today because I've kind of shown you guys exactly how to mark up a particular pair. Like in this is US30. Like if you were to do the same, like you do the same for USDJPY, for example. This is beautiful. Like this, I'm pretty sure this would have formed this morning here. Yes, it did at 8 o'clock in the morning. It did, and look at that. It has a nice downtrend, and it did a beautiful rejection candle. And if you had taken it, let's say you took it in here and you have just taken it, this is easily give you 46 pips, and your stop loss would have somewhere been about 30. I would have put it for about 35 pips, right? So this is where you see, look at this now. Can you see this is a bullish pin buy? You had a rejection pin buy here. But my question is, would you go down? It's a bit too difficult for me to say. You have to kind of draw your support resistance lines. As for the indicator, it is showing, if you guys can see, it is showing a bull momentum. But having said that, um, let's just quickly, I might not draw. Can you see how big the support resistance gaps are? Just because we would have drawn it on a higher time frame. But I do believe that, yeah, yeah. If you look at the higher time frame, guys, it is an uptrend. Can you see that? Okay. But price is pushing down, so it might reverse. I am just trying to see. Um, yeah. So we do have a nice momentum going down here. Basically what it could do, there's liquidity here, guys. There's liquidity here. Basically this moving average 10 on the monthly is going to come up, and it might do a rejection basically of that and then go back up. Don't know, but all I'm saying is, okay, let's just bring this up a little bit. Okay, all I'm saying is it's currently on the downtrend. That's what it is on a lower time frame. Now, what we need to do is you need to draw your support resistance. For the time being, let me just turn this on so we have a look. Okay, need to go higher up a bit. There we go. So can you see where price is? There is a support there which it has rejected here. It's forming a bullish pin bar. So let's look at, yeah, so I do think it is going to go up a little bit on a 2 hour and then maybe drop back down again. But at the moment, I don't think it's a sell, really. Just because of where the divergence is at the moment, if you can see. Yeah, because you look at this one, look at the divergence here. Sorry, guys, for my silence. I'm just analyzing the chart, basically. So if you can see here, it's at the top. You can see this is a going down momentum. Can you guys see this? I'm just going to off this pin bar so that you can see it. Okay, you can see this is a downward trend, right? From this to this, right? But then here, this bit of this divergence is up. Okay, so you can see that it is going to go up. Really, that's what it is. So I would, I don't think, and it's consolidating here. So I think it probably would go up a little bit, maybe to this, and then drop down back again. So I would wait, be patient with it. Right, but it is on a downtrend at the moment, and I still do think it is going to go down just because of where it is. Yeah, I really do think it is going to come down to the support resistance because of the liquidity here at this area. So I would basically just wait. I mean, you could do a short. You see, for me, I think I'm just looking at very quick sniper entries. But if you do want to take a shot, then obviously your stop loss is going to be a lot more higher. It's just my technique is really to kind of have very small stop losses. I don't like very huge ones because I rarely take any like a 4 hour or a daily time frame unless I've got very small rejection candles which don't have long pin bars and therefore my stop loss is still tight, then it is fine. But otherwise I tend to take it in the 1 hour or the 15 just so that my trades are sniper and at the same time my lot size can be slightly bigger just because of the stop loss is smaller, if that makes sense, the pips in the stop loss. So yeah, so I would personally just wait a little while, wait for another rejection to happen, and then take it down. So that's my take on US30, guys. But you might want to go draw more support resistance lines if you are taking this pair for today. And yeah, and if you're trading any other pair, do it the same way. Clean out your chart, basically do a top down analysis on a naked chart, do your support resistance, and then see, have this divergence indicator. It's really, really, I think it's useful. At times it can make you overthink, at least for me that happens, but I think it's kind of nice to know when it's right at the bottom and you know a trend reversal has happened or is happening, and wait for it to finish before you take it back down, especially if you know it's having a very strong momentum towards that one direction. At the moment, I really do think it is strong on a sell for USDJPY. But if you're taking a scalp, it's not ready yet. So that's my take on it. Okay. So happy trading, guys. Happy Monday again, and see you guys tomorrow.